Initially it is hard see which CEO Donald Trump card and Usman Ahsan, a cab motorist in Islamabad, the equity of Pakistan, include in overall. One is the lead of the US, in an alleged private luck of dollar, pound, the sum is fighting to supporting his woman, an 8-month-old child. Yet both of are the 1 week hoping how the OPEC oil producers cartel doesn't solve to cut manufacture in and try to growth world wet prices. Representatives of OPEC's present 15-term state encounter at its staff in Vienna, Austria on Thursday, December 6, for their newest 2-year meet, wherever they will set manufacture levels for the following 6 months. The consumer expectations are how at the calling of OPEC's in fact lead, Saudi Arabia, exit will really be cut to assist increase prices, that bring down to their minimum levels in more than rather than a year at the end of November. Saudi Arabia argues how exit as necessary to be cut since it fears how differently prices could drop future following year due to a forecasted retarding in consumer demand for petroleum. Both of Mr. Ahsan and CEO Trump card will not be lucky if OPEC, that accounts for more than rather than a tertiary of oil supplies, does really cut manufacture. With hope, Saudi Arabia and OPEC will not be cut oil manufacture. Oil prices should be lot reduce relying on delivery. Meantime, CEO Trump card tweeted recent monthly, with hope, Saudi Arabia and OPEC will not be cut oil manufacture. In Else Chirp in November in answer to declining oil prices he wrote, appreciate you to Saudi Arabia, but allows go reduce. Love the otherwise of us. Mr. Ahsan doesn't include any influence in OPEC, but CEO Trump card surely does. And he wants gasoline prices to remain low to assist US drivers and the nation's economics. So which precisely should we wait to be announced next? The OPEC meet and reason. And which are the some issues how Saudi Arabia and OPEC include to believe. Although the cost has later rising over $63, on increasing treaty amongst analysts how OPEC will declare several manufacture intermittent, the is yet less than rather than part the highs achieved in March 2012 of more than rather than $128. Prices soared later due to fears above supplies of Iraq since of ongoing insecurity in the nation. OPEC wants to cut manufacture since it forecasts how the bet of increase in the world consumer demand for oil will sluggish in 2019 as the world economics cools lightly. Anne-Louise Hittel, defect CEO in accusation of oil at study team Timber McKenzie, agrees consumer demand will cold following year. Love lot she predicts how OPEC will declare manufacture intermittent, but just humble ones due to blood pressure of CEO Trump card. We wait a manufacture moderation treaty to come of the meet and include had the in our basis instance 2019 prediction. We include anticipated the for several months since out of it, down there will be a big scope excess. But by how lot is OPEC potential to cut supplies? Ms. Hittel suggests about 800,000 barrels a day, how would stabilize prices and hinder future declines. She adds how a cut of 1 millionth barrels a day would indicate cost rises of several dollars a drum. Qatar to keep OPEC oil producers team Comrade Oil Production Analysis Rachel Zimba of the Center for ANUA Safety predicts a cut of up to 500,000 barrels a day. Yet, she warning how the meat is yet cunning to urge. She says how as the US and China now seem to be hard to patching up their trading controversy, the world economics may in fact be much stronger rather than previous forecasted following year. Some commentators gamble how Saudi Arabia may be more than readily rather than normal to pay take into account to CEO Trump card's urge, following the reputational harm it incurred next the die of Saudi reporter Jamal Khashoggi within the nation's consular agency in Istanbul. Saudi Arabia has in fact already enlarged its manufacture lightly with the summer, in answer to calling of Mr. Trump card. The was to do up for a drop in world delivery next the US reinstating sanctions regime on Iran, and led to the latter annual lows. Jim Crane, power study comrade at Reese College's Pecker Institution in Houston, says how an OPEC manufacture cut is looking potential in spite the blood pressure of CEO Trump card. A lot of producers requirement $60 to $80 in drum of oil to balance sheet their domestic budgets, he says. While oil waterfall lot under $60, they get nerve. He adds how which has intensified OPEC's brush is the organization's shut bonds in Russia, and how if OPEC trims manufacture, Russia will perhaps do the identical. So in spite CEO Trump Card's tweets, OPEC is wide forecasted to declare a manufacture cut-off, if just a little to try to lift world oil prices. For Mr. Hassan, in Islamabad, it won't be great news story. Lifetime is hard, if I try to do regular several hours of drive, love 8 several hours, I don't do a income since of the price of gas, he says.